don't think it posed a national security problem. I think that it was a mistake that she's acknowledged. We don't get an impression that here there was purposely efforts to hide something or to squirrel away information. This is one of those issues that I think is legitimate, but the fact that for the last 3 months this is all that's been spoken about is an indication that we're in presidential political season.
All right, folks, joining us now is Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch, author of the New York Times bestseller, The Corruption Chronicles, and the executive producer of the documentary District of Corruption. Tom, there is so much going on, and it's all Clinton, Clinton, Clinton. First of all, you know, the polls out today, in a Fox News poll, that she loses to every top Republican presidential candidate, Trump, Carson, Fiorina, Jeb Bush. And we have the fact that one of the moderators, Anderson Cooper, of the debate tonight was a member of the Clinton Global Initiative, so you might call that a conflict of interest. Then we have the new State Department documents that raise more questions on Clinton's conflict of interest, but probably even more important ones.
Well, that's exactly right. And Mr. Obama is playing defense counsel for Mrs. Clinton. He even has his FBI and Justice Department investigate the very issues that he evidently has concluded aren't a major issue, which is the fact that classified information was put out there and shared in a way that violated federal law and his own regulations that he put out. You know, the president says it's not an issue, but then it's a legitimate issue, or it's no big deal, but it was a mistake. President Obama wants to have it both ways, and his defense of Mrs. Clinton is really troublesome given the fact there's an ongoing Department of Justice and FBI investigation, and shows you why those investigations really need to be scrutinized, and we need to be asking questions as to why they're taking so long to figure out whether or not Mrs. Clinton violated the laws against handling classified information. I mean, you know, you could take any of these cases or revelations, the one from the Benghazi committee that Sid Blumenthal sent her the name of a CIA agent or someone affiliated with the CIA on the server, on her private email. I mean, just that alone would get anybody else probably sent to jail. Well, as people pointed out, General Petraeus, who was really given a slap on the wrist, had to plead guilty to crimes related to the mishandling of classified information that's arguably less egregious than what Mrs. Clinton has done. It was purposeful. It was designed to hide documents from the American people. His State Department allowed it to happen. Presumably he knew what was going on. He communicated with her via this separate email system. Who in the White House knew and when? You know, Mr. Obama pretends that these scandals aren't important. Obviously they're important. And the American people are showing displeasure with Mrs. Clinton by telling pollsters they don't trust her or don't find her ethical. And so there's significant political issues that you're raising, but from Judicial Watch's perspective, it's the criminal aspects and the fact that they were hiding things, and they hid things from the courts in our cases, they hid things from Judicial Watch, they hid things from Congress. You know, that used to be called obstruction of justice. It used to require that presidents were removed from office for obstructing justice. Here we have a Secretary of State who obstructed justice and a White House that let her do it, and maybe did it with her. And that's what we're investigating now. And the conflicts of interest, the State Department releasing almost 800 pages of documents showing, you know, conflicts of interest with the Bill Clinton speech and other issues. I mean, this is also something that really needs to be talked about. It is. I mean, he was trying to get money from a Chinese government entity, and the State Department kept on asking him questions. They never told him no. He eventually got the hint and said, well, I'm not going to do the speech anymore. There was another speech that evidently they never approved, as the rules required. Mrs. Clinton, when she came into office, promised that she would vet all of her husband's speaking engagements and business relationships to make sure there wasn't a conflict. What we have found that these documents show was there wasn't one that was rejected. That is, yeah. There was not one speech that was rejected. I think only one deal was rejected, and she earned $48 million for her husband's speaking fees, and the foundation gained billions. All of those billions, much of which weren't vetted through the State Department as they were supposed to. Yeah, maybe we need you up there on the stage at CNN, or at least in the moderator's chair, instead of Anderson Cooper, who is a member of the Clinton Global Initiative, asking the questions. Always good to talk to you, Tom. Thank you very much. Hey, thank you, Steve. All right, my pleasure. Yeah, folks, it's as bad as it sounds, it's probably even worse. All right, up next, more
of the show. But first, more than 80 million Americans make up the baby boom generation, and astoundingly, many of them have done little planning for their retirement. Now, the Baby Boomer Survival Guide is here to help boomers prepare with money-saving tips and valuable advice, giving baby boomers the guidance that they need to thrive in retirement. And that's what everybody should actually be striving for, is to thrive in retirement. Now, to see the free offer for the Baby Boomer Survival Guide, simply visit newsmax.com/boomerbook or call 800-251-7319 toll-free at the number on your screen, 1-800-251-7319. Do it now.